My apologies. My apologies. I got my internet interrupted, but that's okay. So let's get started. um, I always believe in telling my story, and my story is around what has been my building of my family, my career, and also my marriage. It's been a very interesting journey. But I want to tell you a story of a young girl before I get into my story. And then from there, that's when we get to a session. I think Coach Me is very clear that end at 8. So there was a young girl. She was only 28 years old. At 28, she was
I think Maureen is having a challenge with internet. So as we are waiting for her to come back to take on the session, I think it is important for us to still interact in the chat room as we are just waiting for her to to come back. Let's just hear how your day was today, what is happening. We are in the second half of the year, and I'm sure there are several things that are taking place in your life. And most of the times when we get into such a period in life, sometimes you can find your energies low and all, but the goal is 31st of December. You have to evaluate what goals did you set when you were starting this year. What is it that you want to accomplish this year? What do you want to fulfill this year? There are several things that you may face, challenges that you may face along the way as you are running your own race. One thing that I want to encourage you, even as we are waiting for to come back, please alert me in case I miss her when she comes back. One thing I would love to encourage you in my journey of 53 years and mostly pursuing my career in the past about 30 years is to understand that you have powers within to actually make it in life. So I saw her. I think she's just coming on now. She's just remaining with the voice, but she's coming back. Okay, it's basically to know that the same way you were born. Oh, thank you, Maureen, you're back. Okay, back to you.
Hey, Doc. My apologies. I don't know what's into my internet. It's not. It's so suddenly got one bar.
Oh, okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you. Okay, I think Maureen has been kicked out again. So we'll keep on waiting until if some people can engage in prayers, intercession, because this is just to prevent her from talking to us. So, excuse me. So, saying that, can you hear me? Are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, Doc, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, lovely. So I was saying that You know, in life, as you are pursuing your career and running in life, you need to know that from the very time you came out of your father's loins, I like saying this thing, but I think it's always good to keep repeating because it will always come to encourage your life. You need to know that there was a competition, you know, to be the one who has to really win the race was a challenge. It was not easy that you are the one who made it. You need to know you all came from the loin of your father and you were all fighting, you know, to be the one who has to make it to fertilize the egg. How about, you know, when you grow up in life and you meet people that you were actually not born with? They didn't come from the loins of your father. You know, there is in life, not everyone will like you, not everyone feel good about you. There was competition, and there were your brothers and sisters, all of them stopping your destiny, wanting you not to be the one to make it in life. But you know what? You made it. You are the one who made it at particular time. You are the one who went into that your mother's egg, and you are the one who made it. I have said this over and over. Please, you remember, you were in the fallopian tube. Whether you knew it or you didn't know it, you were in there when fertilization took place. And you did everything possible to deal with all limitations that surrounded your birth. All the limitations that surrounded your birth, you were able to deal with that by coming out of limitation. Let me tell you, what prevents you from succeeding has nothing to do with anybody outside you. Whatever it is, whatever is going on in your life, whatever is happening in your life, the only way you'll be able. Okay, so Maureen is apologizing. She's trying to come back. Let me tell her yes. It's okay. Okay, so that she shouldn't panic. Okay. Whatever it is that you need to know is that power is within you. Okay, power is within you to become and to change what is going on. Whilst you were in that fallopian tube, you came out of the fallopian tube. It was a place that led you. Some of you, it's your own thought process that has limited your greatness. What you think about, what you entertain in your mind. There are things running through your mind. That is what is stopping you from getting that promotion, from getting that business started, from you moving on to the next level of your life. I need you to know life ain't fair. It whilst you were just an ovum, sliced ovum. As you were in the uterus, I've said this, I'll say it again. When you were in your mother's uterus, you had a lot of challenges. You had the waters surrounding you. You had darkness around you. Nothing was making sense. But guess what? The Spirit of the Lord was with you. God was with you when you had no brain. God was with you when you had no legs. God saw you through. What is it that today He's defeating you from you fulfilling that which God called you to fulfill? What is it that is going on that today you behave as though you created yourself? What is it that is making you today not to fulfill the things that God told you to fulfill? Do you know that there is no day when the day has waited because you don't feel like? The day has gone. Today we are on the 8th of August. Let me tell you something. If you did not contribute to the dash of your life, and listen to me carefully, if you did not contribute to the dash of your life, the reason you were born here on earth, today, the 8th of August, you are going to miss out on the harvest next year. The harvest this year in December, the harvest, because there are certain opportunities. There are certain opportunities that God gave to you. And those opportunities came your way, and it was up to you to either get those opportunities or just let them pass by you. Let me give you a challenge. Okay, I'm just checking if Maureen is there. Not yet. Okay. It is important for you to know, as you were in your mother's womb, do you know at that particular time, you needed the waters, you needed the darkness, you need some of the things that are going on in your life. Is it marital issues? Is it education? Is it business that, the capital, has gone down? Whatever it is that is happening in your life, you have a responsibility within you. God has given you power. God has invested the grace and the anointing within you. It is in your spirit, man. It is in your image. It is in the likeness of God. In the image of God, it has to do with you having this God with you. He created you in his image. What did you contribute really that is making you to have grudges against people? What did you contribute to being where you are? To fail to forgive, to fail to understand that along the way, certain things in people's lives can happen. What is it when you were just in your mother's womb, God was there? What is it can fail to do today? What can God fail to do today? I need you to give it thought, because there are many times we behave as though we created ourselves. There are many times we behave as though we hold our future. There are many times we behave as though life evolves around us and everything must halt. Remember, you were in your mother's womb, right there, helpless, controlled by God. God Almighty was there. Can he fail to be there for you today? Can he fail? Can he fail? It is our own thought process. It is our own mindset. We have told ourselves things and we entertain a lot of negativity, which produces negative energy. And when you tell yourself negative things, it produces negative energy, and it is what you attract from the universe. You are wondering what is going on in your life. What have you been seeding in your mind? What has been coming out of your mouth? What has been going on? We are in the second half of the year, and 1 month has gone. Let me tell you something. Do not wait until December to come and make some declarations for next year. Do not wait and then look forward. Oh, this is my year. Remember, this is unstoppable year. Unstoppable self. What does that mean? Do you even know the prophetic utterance of being unstoppable? Do you understand? When you are in this team, Project Life Design, you need to understand you are a project. But also we know that you can be a project, but we have an advantage, and we have God on our side who is able to hold our hand. We are not doing this by ourselves. Unstoppable means even if you are on a ventilator, as long as you have the breath, you are not going to give up on your goals. You're going to give up on the things that God has given to you, has blessed you with. We are in the second half of the year. My friend, what is going on? What is going on? What is happening? what is going on. It is important for you to know. Maureen is back. I'm to immediately hand over to her. Please take over.
Thank you, Doc. I think probably if I don't switch on my camera, we could stay on a bit. I'm using the same internet, trying to get one started. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Oh, I would have really loved to see everyone and be part of this call a bit more different, but for now, it has not happened as, and the Lord has allowed only to what it is right now. Okay, so I want us to get started. I will switch on the camera as soon as I change the internet provider. All right. So I think I started earlier and please keep on giving me a signal when you can't hear me. Please let me know so that I know what's happening. I was sharing a story of a young girl, a lady who was only 28 years old. She married and had 3 kids. And I think she was only married for about 6 years of her life. And in the sixth year, the man that she was married to told her that, you know what, I think I can't keep you anymore as my wife. So I'll find myself another wife, another woman. And at 28, she didn't know what to do. She didn't know where to start from and how to pick up with her career. Well, she still had a career, but she didn't know what to do with the children. And as is, the conversation went, and the woman asked the man and said, so what am I now going to do with these 3 children that you've given me? And then she was told, well, throw them in the waste paper basket. And she was like, how do I throw 3 kids in the waste paper basket? And at that moment, I'll tell you, that woman's firstborn child was me. Why am I telling you this story? That's how my family around is. I come from a broken home. My dad rejected me when I was only 5 years old. And so having a family with such a background, and then at some time I needed to build a career, and I needed to build my own marriage. I tell you this story because that's what my mom went through. And I come from a background where I've never known to be with a dad or a man in a home from the time I was 5 years old to be where I am today. And I think I've lived longer with a man in a home, my husband, than even my dad because he rejected me when I was quite young. And today, being a person who stand up here, talk about the strength of a family, career, and marriage, I thank God because my beginning was not the easiest of things. And when you talk about family, that was the bedrock of my family. Now, when you talk about marriage and career, I got married when I was 24, going to 25 years old. And the moment that I got married, my husband was in Kitwe and I was in Lusaka. Immediately, and you know it was automatic. I needed to move to Kitwe. So I moved to Kitwe. I still remember, I think if there are people that are old timers here, I had to work for what is called Airtel now. A good job, and I had to give up my job because there was no position for me on the Copper Belt. I think I even got a pay cut for me to get a new job. Why? Because I'm a wife, I'm getting married, so let me go down. Okay, so I got to the Copper Belt, got a job with one of the mine contractors, and good job. 3 months in the marriage, 3 months in the job, all good. Anglo America comes and says, oh, by the way, we are withdrawing from KTM. So everyone who was a contractor reduced their number of workers. Guess who was retrenched? The newly married. 3 months, 3 to 4 months in marriage, and now I don't have a job. Stayed at home, started cooking, did quite a bit of things to try to make money. Well, it didn't happen and when my husband and I were getting married, he used to work for Hi-Fi Corporation. He was a branch manager. And we had talked about full-time ministry. And when my husband and I were talking about ministry, we were very passionate and very positive that the Lord has called us. But little did we know that 3 months into marriage, it was the time that my husband will be called into ministry. So guess what? My husband gets in full-time ministry. Thereafter, a few months later, I lose my job. I don't have a job right now. So our pay has reduced to a quarter of what we are having. And wow, so life then goes on. What then do we do? So here's now Maureen in the marriage state, now my career. I don't have a job. The same company I was working for, I think called me 6 months later. I said, no, I've got another deal that we're trying to push with Concola Deep. Please come. Well, I think we can keep you because we like the way you worked. So I went back, continued, bidded for the contract, and it didn't come through. Okay, so what happens? You're retrenched again. And this is before I turned 30. I've been retrenched twice. And please give me a signal that I'm not talking to myself, because this internet of mine has been acting up. I pray that the Lord may give us sustenance. Yeah. And well, there we go. Now I don't have a job. Again, now before I turn 30, I've been retrenched twice. Oh, by home, I've been rejected. I have a career background where I have been retrenched twice before I turned 30. I made decisions because I'm of marriage. I made my career decisions. I still remember one of my friends when I was living in Lusaka, she said, you know what, you'll be calling when you get to Kapiri and say, guys, what's in fashion, so that I come dressed in what's in fashion in Lusaka. Why? Because I was making decisions around building my own family and a marriage. And knowing that with full-time ministry with my husband, maybe in years like now, maybe before he just turned 50, but little did we know that he was only going to be in full-time ministry when he's only 20, I think he was only 27 years old. And so I want you to see where Maureen Chishimba is coming from. Why am I telling you my story? I told you my story, you won't understand it in PowerPoint, only when I share it with you. I come from a home where I've been read. I come from a career background where it worked from the time when I started. But guess what? I still believe that God had his own way. Then you ask me the question, fast forward, where I am right now, because I didn't introduce myself. I'm Maureen Chishimba. I work for a bank. I'm a banker. And my expertise, I'm a retailer. I have been in retail banking. I've been in retail telecommunication as well for many years. And so I can run anything that is retail. Give me ShopRite, I can run it. Give me any other retail, anything to do with retail shop or retail, anything to do with retail is actually my, and that's who Maureen Chishimba is. And so how did I get my career then to grow to be where I am? And then my marriages to be where we are. I'm married, this is my 22nd year in marriage with my husband. With a background that I have, a number of you asked me the question, so how did you manage to even get to 22 years? When we got started, there were times I would go like, is this gonna, it's not another one of my mom's time marriage that maybe soon it's not gonna work out. But one thing that I would tell you that had kept me going and to be one is the fear of God. I gave my life to the Lord when I was quite very young. I thank God for that. And the other thing was also my determination to have to work and have a career. Fast forward, I went back after my second child, who also came, they were 8 months apart. He also came trying to wallow, to get to understand and wrap around myself of not having a career. And I went back into Celto in that time. And remember, I had left. And when I went back, why was I accepted back? It's my kind of character as I was working for that organization. Why I've told you my story is that I want you to see where I'm coming from. I'm pulling off the mask of the Maureen that you see, and sometimes you think, oh, so how did you, and what I like about this topic, saying strong, it's not saying successful, because success is defined different by each one of us. But strong is having testimony of what you've tested. And this is where we are right now. I always say family, and yes, Carol, success is relative. I always say family, marriage, and work. Always remember that everything that is you comes from what is called family. Work is not life, it's part of your life. But what are the principles? What are the key things that have kept me going? What has kept me being who I am as Maureen, probably even in my marriage? One thing that has kept me going is that we've learned when you're a career woman, you have to know that your family will always be there for you. Your job will also be there in the time that you're there. But at the end of the day, when all is said and done, you will still have a family. So you need to have a support system that is worth it. A support system that will hold you when you don't have it. It won't just come because you have to be deliberate. What have I done deliberately? I made it a point that every time that I have anything to do with work, I will explain to my family members. I will explain to my husband, to be specific. I'll communicate to say, this is what's happening in this time. And I might not come at such a point, but listen, this is what we're going to do as soon as I come back, or this is where we're going to go. And there's a form of communication. And he knows, okay, this involves this. And even when I was getting the job, our conversations that this job will be very demanding. So this is what is expected. It should go ahead. We agree. Okay, please go ahead. And make sure that every time you have the opportunity to go, you come home and spend time with kids. But one thing that is so good is that when you've got a career and you've got a support system, it all works. But the support system just doesn't happen. You have to learn to have a proper communication in your home, number one. Number two, your home should be warm. People that come to your house, and people, it's not always your children and your husband that will support you. Our support systems are different. Not all of us are married here, but it's your family. How do you relate with your family? Are you the one who's always having that's always commenting the wrong things about people and always gossiping in families? Guess what? You'll be the next person to be talked about if you don't take care of your home, if you don't take care of your family. You have to have an environment that you encourage people. If I have a home, imagine I was not married, and then the next moment I'm retrenched like 2-3 times. Who was I going to speak to without my husband? It was going to be my family, because then I had no job. And dear friend, one thing I want you to know, the way we relate with any person around us that is called family is the way they will treat you when you need them. So whatever you plant as a seed is what you will get out. I want you to see, the scripture that we've always been reading and everyone has read, and each one of you, I think, on this call has read Proverbs 31. All that she does, you note that last part is what brings her, and everyone talks about it. Why? Because of what she's been doing for the family. I know it's such a long scripture, but I know because of time, but I want us to just read one part, which is 28, Proverbs 31, verse 28. Her children raise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. This is not just for a woman who's married, it's even all of us here. How strong is your family ties? And you don't have to wait, no, because that one doesn't talk. I don't want to deal with them and I won't even talk to them. Be the one that brings peace in that place where everybody else doesn't see it right. Bring them together, because these things happen in every family, every home. You find is the way people relate. But understand your structure of relation, that you bring people and let them be unified, yes. Because at the end of the day, what you need is to have a family that will be your support system. A strong family will not happen on its own. You have to be deliberate. Look at the virtuous woman. The virtuous woman is the woman that takes care of the maids, brings food, goes and does business. She does a lot of things. Superwoman. But you see, she still maintains the backbone of her family because she knows that at the end of the day, she's the woman that's a support team that she has. The husband is respected in the gate. Why? Because of the wife. And when you're a married woman and you feel like, okay, me, I'm in charge, me, I'm a married woman. Besides me, my husband is a pastor, and I've got a good job in a corporate world. And what can he tell me? Those things go. You got to have a strong base and set priorities. I will want you to know that every day in our home, every Friday in our home, we have what we call movie night. My daughters laugh at me because that movie night, the movie is what watches me because I usually sleep, maybe towards the end. But we've developed a culture in our home where we do things together, even if you don't have a husband or a family or where you have children. Be it with your sisters. Sometimes the sisters might not be there. Be with your friends. Develop that strong bond, the structure that will support you when you're in need. Because if you don't get to do that, you will struggle. You will find that if you're the one who's always gossiping, you're the one who's always not bringing your friends to the front, not pulling other women, you always find that you've compromised your relationship, and a compromised relationship will never get you to where you want to be. That's with marriage as well. Speak to your spouse, communicate, tell him, you know what, I think today I don't think like we can do this. Can we do it like that? And also just say, what are our priorities? You know, sometimes we always forget to do things, to set boundaries. If you don't set a boundary in your home or in your family, you'll find that you've got cracks because you don't know where to end to start. That same principle works in a work environment as well. I've talked about the family and what is expected and how you should communicate, keep a home that is warm, be the peacemaker, do not compromise, always put the priorities right, and always have a culture or a structure of how. Uh, things, people that will call me, they want to, maybe they have a party, I'll do the cooking. I did all that because today, if I don't have a job, I'll go back to that. I'm a kids planner, event party planner. And I think I did very well until I went back in the corporate world. What is Maureen? Maureen has got so many hats that she can wear. I'm a pastor's wife. That is who I am. So before you even relate to where I work, it's who is Maureen. So have a brand. I have a brand and you've been employed by an organization. Show up. Don't get into a work environment because everybody else is complaining and you're at the top of your voice. Hey, no, yeah, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, my dear, you signed a contract alone. You're with people that you didn't come at the same time. Even if you joined the same day, you've got different backgrounds. So show up. When everybody else doesn't want to show up, you show up and say, oh, by the way, I am an events planner and I do have my extra touch is A, B, C, D. And here it is. If people are saying, no, we'll stop supplying to this person, because go there and supply and show your skills. Because what we're doing is selling who we are, what our purpose is. And when you are in that work environment, speak up. Sometimes they no, but I wanted to say no, but yeah, she's got my idea. That one, hey, they've got your idea because you didn't speak up. And we're not saying just open your mouth carelessly. No. The Bible is very clear when it speaks about the virtuous woman. It says when she opens her mouth, what comes out of her mouth is wisdom. Think through what you're going to say. Plan for it. Go with this certain kind of mindset. Don't always be a yes borner. Understand what's happening in your environment. Grasp what every corner of your environment, and then just know what you're saying and speak at the right time. Have the discernment to know when to speak. Have the right work ethics. Not every time they're saying, no, that one is good. That one, when she shows up, things are gonna be bad. Okay, that one, can we wait? And let people know what you're passionate about. Yeah, thank you, Anne, for she speaks with wisdom. Yes, when she opens her mouth. I want women, I want you to learn something with all purpose. And I believe you've had this session before. You gotta learn who you are. What are you known for? Why are you living? So, you can't always be the one. Today you're jumping here, tomorrow you're jumping there. No one will even know what your brand is. No one will understand you because they'll think, about a woman. Today they're here, tomorrow they are there. Do they know who they want to be? And that instability will show your superiors that you don't know what you want. Be intentional. Don't be a bootlicker. No, be a worker and be passionate about what you do. And passion is not about, no, this one doesn't do it good, I do it better. The moment you go and backstab someone in a work environment trying to get to a position, just remember that the guy who will come and backstab you is actually a gym training to stab you harder. So always have that at the back of your mind. Always have a certain level of integrity that will make you just be you. People want you for you, not because you've backstabbed anyone. And when some people ask, saying, I don't know where my passion is. I don't know what I really want to do. You know what? Be yourself. When you think about your passion, what do you enjoy doing? That when you do it, you have a fulfillment that is unbelievable. I would tell you, for me, sitting here to speak to women, I sit back, I always love the fulfillment that I get. For me, even doing kids' birthdays, even at my age, I'll go face paint, the kids would run around, and I love event managing. I fail to sit in one place when I'm at an event. Sometimes I'm like, gosh, okay, maybe I'm overdoing it. Maybe let me just relax. But then I'm right sitting at the edge. Then I'm like, you know what? No, let me just do this thing. And then there are times, even when there's a funeral, my friends will say, anyway, and they shall always organize. And then I realize, okay, they'll call me and say, you know what, come and help us set up. Why? Because that's me and I'm passionate. Sometimes, we want to, maybe I should be like cheated because they do it slower. But look here, you are you, be yourself. I'm not saying because you are you and you have to now have the wrong attitude, have the right attitude, but know what you enjoy doing and why you do it. And just as you are doing that, one thing that I would tell you is that two things actually before I close. I know my time is running out. Grow your network. Don't just sit, no, because I work for this company, people will come and be passionate, be deliberate, go to places, find people that, and sometimes it's even just in a queue on ShopRite and someone comes at me. I like saying when I see people, especially women, their hair looks nice, I'm like, your hair looks nice. Your outfit is good. Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, what? We go on chat the next morning. Oh, I'm cheating. No. Here's my number. Oh, okay, here's the number. Oh, okay, thank you. Guess what? The next moment, I'll find Chite maybe on a table there, who are making a decision on a bid that I put in and see me. What do they do? They'll just say, oh, I know her. But it was only on the queue shop, right? Especially us women. Let's avoid find another woman first, you size them. When you're sizing them, you're losing time for your networking. Just jump in, talk to them. Why is it that when you see a man, you don't just see them, oh, then they hi. But why aren't we doing it for our fellow women? Because you just don't know who's your destiny helper. Let's just keep on pushing your network. Keep on being the person that you'd love. Tell people what you would want to hear. It will always come back. Tell someone, find someone, you look nice, but don't be competitive all the time. And that's a big thing that draws back. Even in marriage, you know why the Bible says women submit? Because God knew that we've got a competitive spirit. Because sometimes, even if he's saying that I'm the one who's in charge, that's why God said, submit. And he may just give him love. Why? Because we've got that competitive spirit. We always want to hear, we always want to be the ones who are in control. We always want to be in charge. But I will tell you, it's okay. But then you have to also measure, is it the right time? Am I being competitive unnecessarily? You know, the times that we actually do that. I mean, there are times also someone walks in, I'm like, that hair, oh my, what did that teller do, Palia? While I'm doing that, I'm losing the opportunity. So I tell myself, hey, come back, stop it. Can we find out what's happening here and who's this person? So with that said, on family and career, I want you to know, how do you then build family and career? Because there are two things that are so demanding. Can you balance it? No. I will tell you, there's no balance act that happens completely where you've balanced work, you've balanced, no. And I have done this for so many years of my life. And I am telling you, you cannot balance, but you know what you can do? You can manage them. When it's time for family, let it be family time. The last time I stopped work and I said, I'm not going to stop again because I'm aging now. I went for work. I think sometimes I become just a workaholic. I went for work, and for 2 days in a row, my 1 year, 8 months, I had not seen her. I left her. I found her sleeping. Left her sleeping. And then she came one day. She says, Mommy, but you didn't come. Then I was like, okay, I think there's a problem here. You know what? I realized that I had spent so much time trying to make extra money and forgot the basic, the foundation of who I am, which is family. And from that time, I think that job, I just told my husband, I said, let me come back home. And besides, I'm driving like 60 Ks every day. And that's just how I stopped. But somehow the Lord was gracious. He's granted me an opportunity to get another job. Why am I telling you this story? You need to have boundaries. You need to know when it's work and when it's family time. Even at the office, people know at a certain time, like on Sundays, people rarely call me because they know that I'm committed the whole day. That's Maureen. On a Saturday, they'll call, but they'll say, do you have a speaking engagement? They'll ask me because I've made it very clear that I have set boundaries. And please, whatever you get to do, learn to, please, whatever you get to do, learn to ask for help. I had that problem. I thought I would take care of my kids. I've carried my daughter before in the car from Lusaka, from Quito to Lusaka. I stayed with her in a hotel. She was only 2 months old. She came back with a bad flu because she was in the aircon for a long time. Her chest was congested. But you know what I could have done? Just call my mother or my mother-in-law to say, please, can you take care of my daughter? I'm going away for a week. I'll come back. And they were available. But I just felt like, no, I'm going to do it. But it was not worth it. My child came back sick. And my husband was like, it's okay. Look, I'll take care of. I'm like, no, this is my daughter. Hey, you don't know how it feels to take care of her. 2 months on bed. It didn't help me. Find time for everything. So if it's time for work, it's time for work. When it's time for family, it's time for family. Make it very clear. There are times that they will clash, and it does get to happen. And you can excuse yourself. People will understand. But they're always the one, my baby's not fine, oh, my husband is, or now when you get home, sorry, I have to do this, so I work late, no. And you have to draw a line. I don't come home with work. If I do it 2-3 times in a year, it's either I will just, when I close my laptop, I come home, I've come home. Where I need to, there should be an emergency, which happens once in a while. And you have to be deliberate. Don't beat yourself when you fail to manage to do some things. Women, please don't. Because sometimes we want to overwork ourselves, especially when you read Proverbs 31. Oh my, you are a superwoman. But we see she had mates that she was providing food for. A lot of things that she did, she would say, okay, that field I'm buying, who's going to plow it? Also, okay. And she would do all that. Why? Because she was managing from somewhere. And now I think I saw a comment here from the boardroom to the bedroom. We always get to say, you can manage even in the boardroom, you can actually manage your bedroom, because you are simply saying, okay, when I do this, that, okay, from here now, when I get home, this is how I'm going to manage my home. And please, please, whatever you get to do, learn. Learning is a lifetime. You'll never get it. Ask me today, Maureen, have you learned? You've been in marriage 22, 23 years. I am still learning. I'm still learning. My husband always learning me more. I think women, we're difficult to learn. But anyways, we're still learning. Every day we learn new things about ourselves. Every day I learn new things about my children as they're changing their age brackets. I am learning. Even now the younger people that have come, I learn from them. I ask them questions. And you know that they ask me, how do you know this? Like, oh, like there's a youth group, but I think I'm the oldest person there. I just want to be with them. I just tell them, oh, okay, tell me what activities do you have? Oh, we're doing this. Okay, this I can't do, but I'll sit there. Why? Because you need to learn from everyone. You need to get exposed. And exposure in different things is cardinal for every human being to develop and grow. And also be the one to get an understanding of what is involved and how to develop their career. I know I'm running out of time, but I will tell you the things that I will leave you with are only 3 things. Ask for help, and keep on learning and learning and learning. Maureen Chishimba didn't wake up and be where she is. Maureen Chishimba comes from a broken home. Maureen Chishimba has failed so many times in her career, but she's just brushed herself off and to be I am today. And so that's all I had to share. My apologies with time. Hello. I hope I wasn't talking to myself.
No. We are here. We are here. Wow, that was amazing. I'm just checking through the comments. Oh my goodness. That was very, very much amazing. I don't know if you're able to hear me because my network keeps on cutting.
Yes, I can hear you. And my apologies for the network earlier, ladies. I am so sorry. I had a hiccup. I think on this one, I just said, God, I am going in. And he answered we are to right now.
Exactly. Wow. I hope you are checking through the comments. The comments, please read through. And please, if you have any question, do you perhaps can you perhaps share with us your contact details, either your Facebook links or whatsoever way. I'm pretty sure there are other people who might want to hear more from you or also follow you. Kindly just share your details with us, if possible.
Okay. All right. So do you want me to share it here, or I can give it to Coach David? My contact, my phone number, my email address. Okay, I'm trying to type my email address. Okay, there you go. And my phone number, the one that is usually off. I would have loved to have more time.